I no longer bug developers to format their pull requests in a certain way. I do this instead. I use Sleuth to set up pull request checks and enforce PR standards so I don't have to be the bad guy always bugging them. With Sleuth, I can visit the automation marketplace, which gives a number of ways to automate not only my pull requests, but other parts of my system as well. But let's pay attention to the pull requests. So you can see here in the pull requests, these are a number of different ways that I can enforce a certain type of behavior into my pull requests. For example, let's take a look at this one. Pull request requires an issue key. What this does is it makes sure that the title of the pull request contains an issue key. Now that could be a Jira issue key, a GitHub issue key, a GitLab, whatever the format is for your target issue system, it requires it to be in the title. And then I can click install and install it into any one of my projects. This way, the team will now have a new check in a pull request. And let's take a look at what that one looks like. So if I go into my list of pull requests here, down here, you can see here's one. And at the bottom, you see a number of checks. Now, every system has different names for it. Pull request checks is just what GitHub calls it. And some of these checks are failing, so some of these are builds that are ran, but you can see this new one, a PR check. Now, in this particular case, you can see the error is a pull request message must match the Git format style. So this is a different PR check that ensures that the Git commit format is of a consistent type. Now, why is this one failing? We can click on details and see why. You can see we have a bunch of these checks set up for ourselves. But in the details, I can see that the title contains the word WIP. So this is just a standard that my team has, which is let's have all of our commit messages not be work in progress commits, but instead let's rewrite our commit so we have a nice clean history. Not for everybody, but that's just how my team works. So we're going to take this pull request check and we're going to add an additional failure based on the issue key missing. So I'm going to go to the title of my issue, of my PR title. I'm going to change it to not have the issue key in it. And then down here, I might need to refresh because sometimes GitHub does not update for some reason. And you can see that now there's a new failure. Title requires an issue key and other problems. So let's go take a look at what those other problems are. And you can see over here that we now have 3 failures. Number 1, we're requiring a certain regex, the PR title to match a certain regex. That's one of our standards. Another one is it should contain an issue key. That one just failed. And of course, the one that we're familiar with, which is the Git format is incorrect. So these are different failures, and I'm going to now go back and fix it. So I'm going to go up to my pull request title. I'm going to change it, and I believe the issue key was 8119. Back to our standard format. Scroll down to the bottom. Remember that sometimes GitHub doesn't update it. We will hit refresh, and you can see we're back to just 1 failure. And what's cool about that is the developer who's doing the pull request is notified of violations of your pull request standards immediately. They don't need to be bugged. You don't need to have you or another engineering leader or another developer, the reviewer, type in an annoying message saying, hey, please fix this. Please fix the title that doesn't match our standards. Nobody wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to be the person that's nitpicking pull requests. Now you can use Sleuth to do it. Think of it kind of like pull request linting. Before we had code linters, we had developers go in and have to get everybody to use the same code format by bugging them in reviews and pair programming, whatever you're doing. And then once we discovered linting, now we have a computer program that runs, finds all the problems, tells the person who made the problem about the problem so they can fix the problem. And now no one else needs to tell them about the problem. That's a lot of use of the words problem. Anyways, you get my point. Use a tool to do the annoying, tedious, bugging, nagging work so that you can get back to focusing on the actual important stuff, which in this case is the pull request and the actual changes being made. In my team, this has made a huge difference, and I'm not just going to tell you about it, I'm going to show you. If I go back into Sleuth itself, I can look at the automations we have installed. And what's cool is it doesn't just tell me that these things were installed, but it actually tells me if it's working. So for example, the PR title requires an issue key. We've had 100% improvement. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you go into the thing itself and you click on the metrics tab, you can see that before this automation was installed, this PR check, 184 out of all of our pull requests were failing. Since, zoom into that a little bit, since you can see only 3 out of 580 pull requests have failed. So we have had 100% improvement in our team in the behavior we were wanting. And if you go back, you can just see that we have improvements. Now, sometimes not a big improvement, sometimes huge improvements. The get format that we just saw earlier, 67% improvement. So we wanted to drive that change and force a certain standard in our pull requests, and now we're using an automated tool to do that. So again, we can have faster pull requests, we can have easier pull requests, more consistent pull requests, which means people can focus on what's important. And that's really the whole point of all of this. Take all the tedious stuff, let a computer program do it, so that developers, your leaders, they can focus on what they need to be focusing on, which is the quality of their pull request reviews, the quality of their changes, so you can get more value out to the customer earlier.